Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Country Morning Creations, and I am so excited to share this Bridgerton inspired journal with you. My husband and I started watching the show a couple of months ago, maybe back in January timeframe. We've actually watched the entire first season twice now, and I'm really super excited that there will be a second season. But this is based on a series of apparently romance novels that are based in the Regency time period. I wanted to create a whole journal that kind of reflected that over-the-topness. So I knew I wanted to base the cover on the dress that Daphne wears at the beginning of the show. So the very first episode, Daphne is wearing this beautiful silk satin gown that has gold and lace and there's rhinestones and it's all over the top. So this is the dress that it's based on. So as you can see, this is based very much on that dress. It has the satin, it has the gold lace, it has this really pretty lace that was across the bodice, and then I have rhinestones on it as well. So I'll bring this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There's the lace and the gold and the rhinestones. This is kind of a nod to both her necklace and her tiara that she was wearing. The rhinestones continue onto the spine, and then the back is simply the same look, if you will. Of course, as with all my journals, this is that hardboard masonite, so it won't warp unless you like really get this whole thing wet. It will. Curved spine, and again, it's covered with satin as well. I do have a video on how I made this satin work, so that will be another video for another time. And then this whole interior, all of these papers are a digital kit that I have made for this journal. So that's part of what took so long for this to come out, was I wasn't using someone else's digital kit. I created my own, and this digital kit and a bunch of other parts to this that are not also in this journal, and I'll show you some of the other stuff I did with it. It's going to come out in this tall version first. So the cover is actually 11 1/4 by, let's see, 4 3/4, no, 4 1/2. There we go, 4 1/2. But these pages are actually the 11 by 8 1/2 this way folded vertically. So this is the first kit. I'm working on translating this all into a kit that's more of the quote normal size that you would use for just a regular journal. That will be coming out hopefully later this week. If not, it'll definitely be in 2 weeks because next week is spring break. So I won't be working on stuff for that. So again, this is a digital kit. I forgot to say, this is a hollow back binding. You can see that it's hollow down in there, so it will lay flat, sort of. Unfortunately, it's so fat, it probably won't. So again, I've tried to follow kind of the storyline. So there's a tiara here because she wears that to, well, actually she wears ostrich feather plumes for her head, but I liked the tiara first. And then I have multiple pockets. Oh, I forgot to mention it's about 120 pages, 6 signatures with 5 or 6 pages each. I'll have to go back and count it. I have no idea. Anyway, so I have a pocket, and on this pocket, part of what this digital kit has is a set of fussy cuts and plain papers that have nothing on them. It's a separate kit, so there's like a DIY kit if you wanted to make your own kit, or you can use the pre-made one that I made. So I'm using some of this as the DIY kit from here and here. I have a variety of just journal cards, tags. These are some tags that I made with some embossing, and this is a super tall tag. And the tags are all blank, and the cards are all blank on the back so that you can use them for, journaling, whatever you want to do. All right, I did quite a bit of embossing. So where somebody might have stamped, everything that I would have stamped is embossed. So there's definitely a more regal feel, a lot of gold in this. Edith Holden. This is one of the plain pages. It's lots of coffee dyed paper. So again, my coffee dyed paper is 28-pound Hammermill acid neutral, and then I use an acid neutral coffee dye. I acid neutralize the coffee dye. So these pages are acid neutral. Also, the 28-pound makes these pages more fountain pen friendly. I love to use a fountain pen. So it still will bleed through a little bit, but it doesn't bleed through horribly. Belly band, again, using some different parts of the kit. There's a bee, you see the bee a lot. There's a key there, which I just thought was cute. It doesn't really, it's not significant to the show. I just liked it. So I've got some cards. I have a dance card. Remember, she wears that. And then I have several pages that I have simply printed out onto coffee dyed paper. And that is all extra just journal space as well. So tons of writing space in this journal. Edith Holden, again, here is another embossed, that's a bird cage. And then we have, I don't know that this was actually part of it, but this looked very Regency to me. We have the stopwatch that the brother insisted on constantly pulling out because he was always felt responsible for making sure he was where he needed to be. And this is, I can't remember what that's called. It's a terrarium, I think. And then this page I had to put some washi tape on. It's very old. This is from a late 1800s book. It's genuine. Most of the pages in here, the ephemera pages I've used, most of them are antiques. And this one's from the 1800s. It was a government report, actually. And this is some antique French piano music. And of course, we know that Daphne plays the piano, which she does quite often. I have another side tuck spot here with some more journaling cards and some different size. So this was a journal, different stuff. Anyway. This is a journal card that I made again, also using various elements. So this is what, if you buy the kit, this is what the journal cards look like. But you can make your own and decorate them up all you want. That was kind of my goal behind making this kit, was that you had options. Some people like to just print everything out and call it good. Some people prefer to do other things. There's a little medicine bottle at the bottom of that page. Again, I tried to keep things, like I said, it's really stuffed. Tried to keep lots of room for writing. There's a clock, again, a nod to the brother that just is always checking it. A pocket that I've personally, again, decorated all of the pockets in here. But you very well could take one of these and just cut your thumb hole in it, and that could be a pocket as well. This is another one of the tall tags. This is another one of those papers. I folded it kind of sort of like an envelope. And so those all just tuck. Oops, that's not wanting. There we go. So those all just tuck right back into there. More of that antique music in that antique book. And then here's another pocket. This one has the tiara and some lace. Then another card, another tag, and another very tall tag. I love these very tall tags. There's something that I like to include in my journals. That way then things go all the way to the top. At least that's my opinion, and I like that. And of course, I tried to get the blue as close as I could to the blue in the show, and there's tons of damask, or damask. I've heard it pronounced both ways, but I believe it's pronounced damask. Bees. Bees are a theme throughout this whole show. There's a doily, there's a dictionary page, and I'm trying to remember, I picked this one out specifically for a reason, and maybe when I get to the other side I'll remember it. So I'm not sure. Anyway, here is your invitation for the first ball of the season. And then this is another one of my pages that I created that is, I folded it just in half. So this is This is a copy of some antique music, and of course the wisteria on the front of the house is everywhere, and lace. So I've tried to keep this kit more in keeping with the over-the-top topness, maybe? I'm not sure what the word is you want to use there, of the whole show. There's a embossed crown. We see the queen a lot. Let's see, was there diamond? I don't remember why I chose this, but there was something it had to do with the show. So anyway, whoever buys it can figure that part out. And some more embossing. This is again more of a damask kind of look. Belly band with some cards, another dance card, and this dance card also is in that kit. Another dance card and another tag. Those, of course, just slide right back under there. So the dances were up next, and then after the dances, of course, all the gentlemen came calling, and there was tea. So that was the next part. There's a little bee down here. Again, some genuine French ephemera. This is coffee dyed tissue paper. I just have to have some in there because it's got that lovely crinkly sound. Again, some more tags. A card, a tag, and then 3 tags. This one has that terrarium on it and another tall tag. And then there's some bees behind all of this as well. Lots of bees in this kit and in this journal. If you don't like bees, this is not the journal for you. Just gonna say that right now. So there's little bees hiding behind there. And then here's another side tuck. There's that terrarium again. And for this one, oops, I bent that, but that will bend. Oh, that came straight right out. So I have 2 more tags, this one and then this one in the blue, and another tall tag that I've made with some embossing on it. There we go. Sometimes it's a matter of finding just the right spot, and we'll tuck all of that back in. I know some people just go through and go, there's a tag, there's something. I want you to see everything. All right, this is giving me conniptions. There we go. All right, so more of the same, more embossing. Then towards the end, there's a dual. So try not to give away too much, but spoiler alert, there is a dual towards the end. So I have the dueling pistols here. And that's just a really pretty embossed piece. This is from a flower book that I have. Some more genuine vintage stuff, more damask. This is another one of the cards that I made, and this one, again, was customed. And then this is just one of the printables. And then this was a letter. I got the script part from Graphics Fairy and redid it. So that is one of it, and then there's the second half of that letter is actually back there. Let's do, we'll just slide these in right behind it. And some more bees in gold. Let me get that all the way in so it doesn't get folded funny. There we go. Oh, and all of my signatures are sewn in with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch using upholstery thread. So it's a good heavy thread. This is another one that I just tucked this in. This was the second half of that letter. It was a letter to a young lady named Mary, and one of the custom journaling cards that I made. And I just have that clipped on here with one of these Tim Holtz. They're adorable, these little tiny paper clips. I didn't want anything really big and bulky since this was already so big and bulky. So part of that, the blue flowers, I was going for the blue to match all the other blues. Another pocket with another card and tag and tall tag. Let's see if we can get everything back in there now. And the piano, which happens after the duel, and there's a piano scene where Daphne's playing the piano and Simon's trying to shoot down birds, and of course this wisteria goes all the way through the book. Candles are everywhere, but in the closing scene the final ball is outside and there's tons of candelabras, so that's kind of a nod to that. More of the gold, more French ephemera. This is some genuine 1924 from a ledger book I own with a little card tucked in there. There's a little key here. Again, another pocket where I added the lace behind the piece. And this is out of the fussy cut part. And a tag and a tag and another card. And you'll see the bees throughout this. They may not stand out as much, but in the wisteria, and they're all in a different place, there's little bees even in the wisteria. And then these pink flowers are actually a nod to, at the very beginning of the show, there's kind of a pink floral tree. I asked my son, who actually is getting a degree in forestry, I said, what kind of tree is that? He said, I don't know, it's made up. So he didn't think it was a real tree. It may be, but he didn't think it was a real tree. But the pink flowers are all a nod to that tree. So again, a tall tag, another tag, and a card. More of the coffee dyed paper. Again, 2 cards. This is one that I custom made, and then this is just one from the kit. And again, an invitation, which I've printed all of these out on parchment paper, so they look like that. And so I think those turned out really lovely. More bees flying along the top. Another card tucked in, just tucked in there. Again, the bird cage. I believe we are finally to the end, and there's the bee at the end. I believe the bee is indicative of the birds and the bees, maybe. So those are all the parts. And as you can see, this is quite stuffed. So I originally did not want to put a tie on it, and I still don't have a tie on it. However, it will come with a tie like this that you can actually wrap around it, and then you can either tie it or you can run it through this way and pull it back around behind. Whoops, that is not doing, it's satin lace, so it's not doing what I want it to do, of course. So then you pull that back and you can just tuck it in behind. Or you can tie a bow or a variety of other things if you want. But that'll hold it. So I left that long enough that you could hold it, or you could totally use this as a bookmark. So I hope you have enjoyed finally seeing the reveal of my Bridgerton journal, and I hope I've inspired you to be creative today.